There's much more to the question of migration than urgent support for Syrian refugees, quotas for legal migration or controlling the Mediterranean. According to a new resolution in the European Parliament, it's also about finding an holistic approach to immigration and asylum. We asked the President of the Civil Liberties Committee, Claude Moraes, what he means and how to relaunch the debate in Europe.
Let's start with the first question coming from Mr. Ambrosi from the International Organization for Migration.
President Juncker has called for more adequate measures to enable legal migration and curb the irregular movement and the fatalities that come with it. You have called the EU to take concrete steps in this direction. How does your resolution address this question?
Okay, so what do you answer?
Well, the resolution is a holistic approach to migration, and this is what I tried to say in the resolution, that we have to take the tough choices on migration. So more legal routes means that the member states need to really wake up to what that means. What that means is we need a policy on managed migration. It means that if the European Union, despite the tough austerity that we are going through, we have to understand and admit that we need migration, that we accept migration. Who is doing all of these low-wage jobs all over Europe?
So it's a sort of wake-up call, this resolution, to say governments and the new Commission, now we have to speak seriously about migration.
We have to admit that there is a need for migration, that migration is happening. There is still an ageing population in the European Union. There is low-wage migration, there is high-skilled migration coming from beyond the European Union.
There is a provocative question now coming from the United Kingdom.
Europe has higher consumption levels than most of the rest of the world. Isn't it the case that stabilising and then reducing our population would help us reduce carbon emissions, protect the environment and conserve natural resources?
What do you think about this kind of current positions in the United Kingdom?
I don't accept that the issue of migration is only linked to the issue of population. There are many other factors to population, and migration is a global issue. There are costs to migration in Western European countries, as has been expressed here. But those costs also have benefits. Migration brings economic benefit too. We know this economically. It has been proven that there is an economic benefit to migration. Migrants pay their taxes. They are more likely to be economically active, more likely to claim less benefits than the host community. We know this is a fact.
In the resolution you say the EU should ensure safe and legal access to the EU asylum system. Okay, this hasn't been done during all the Syrian crisis. So my question is, are you confident that this approach to asylum seeker could change in the next future?
The European Union policy towards issues like Syria is that we have a resettlement policy. The other policies towards issues like the Syrian problem are really from member states. So the resettlement programme is not working well. You have a very disproportionate issue in resettlement. You have some countries taking virtually no Syrian refugees and some taking a lot. So the burden sharing element is not happening, which is why our resolution is pointing towards this holistic approach. We need better burden sharing. We need the Council, the Member States to do their job. The Commission is asking for it, the Parliament is asking for it, but the Member States are not doing their job. They're not burden sharing.
But do we need to change the Dublin Convention for that?
You don't need to change much. The Dublin Convention exists, it can be reformed. You have the directives on reception conditions. You have the Common European Asylum System in place. All of that is fine. The issue is implementation. It's not being implemented by the member states.
So now we go back to immigration, Frontex, and we have a question coming from the Euro-Mediterranean Human Rights Network.
La coopération de Frontex avec les États tiers est particulièrement importante en Méditerranée. Administration du réseau Eurosur, coopération avec des États comme la Tunisie ou la Turquie, opération en mer. Cette coopération a pour le moment lieu sans contrôle démocratique du Parlement européen. Vous envisagez la tenue d'une enquête sur la situation en Méditerranée. Pensez-vous y intégrer la question cruciale de la coopération extérieure de Frontex, qui a des conséquences importantes sur les droits des personnes en migration?
The big problem with Frontex right now is that it's a very small operation. It's an operation of the European Union, but it spots people who are literally drowning or at danger in the Mediterranean at a very important time. But Frontex is inadequate. We need more funding for Frontex because it's trying to fill the gaps left by the lack of action by member states.
Claude Moraes, thank you very much.